Well, is it possible to make money baking from home? Yes. You can make money, and believe me, many business they start from home. There are people that even kept they are still baking from home till today, and they are making money. They are making a living. They are supporting their families baking from home. I know a story that's very interesting in Brazil. As you guys know, I come from Brazil. In Brazil, there is a company, a chocolate company, which is already remarkable. That is a chocolate company, because I'm going to tell you how a chocolate company started in Brazil. And in Brazil, which is a cocoa producer, a big one, we don't have many chocolate companies. We have Garoto, Laca. They are big, so huge factories that exist since I was a child, in Copenhagen, which is another one. But we have the Cacao Show. Cacao Show is a company that started with a guy. He was 17 years old, 17, and he started, if I remember, helping his mom to sell egg chocolates, like chocolates for Eastern. We have this tradition to have chocolate eggs filled with something, or just plain, to give as a gift for the children or for everyone in Eastern. And he started to sell from his mom. Then at some point happened that someone ordered 2,000 eggs in 50 grams. I remember the grams because as pastry chef you always keep this kind of information. And so started the Cacao Show. Cacao Show is today, if we are talking about fine chocolate chain, is the biggest in the world. This is a very important thing. It's started as a home confectionery business and reached the sky. This can happen to you if you have a plan and if you work well, sure. So actually my business also started from home, from my dinner table, and I'm sure many other business you might know someone who does the same, because I can here, it's not the subject to name many different companies, but in supermarkets you have companies that today sell on Tesco, Sainsbury, and they also started from home, and they are dinner tables doing a plan. Is that difficult? No, it's not difficult. Is that super easy? It's not easy because it requires effort, requires lots of work. You have to have, especially if you are working with free from products, because you need to have everything very clean. Every time you're going to start working, you have to clean everything. You have to separate your utensils. You have to have a storage. You have to separate your free from ingredients in your storage. You have to be clean. You have to change your clothes. You have to wear clean clothes. You have to pay attention in all the details. Write down everything you have to do when you start working. Clean the bench, separate this, and wash again my utensils, or whatever you believe you understand you have to do. Make this checklist, and then you go. You have your agenda, everything very organized. So which orders do you have, and all this. Then it's a lot of work, but it's not difficult to do. The thing about separating utensils and everything, until today, I have a shelf in my place. It's like this chromed shelves we buy on IKEA. And I have one on the corridor, because this is separated from the stuff in my kitchen, not me and not my friends or my family. When they come to visit, they cannot use, because I even have my Maries, my whisks, they have different colors. You don't have to buy expensive stuff and buy all the equipment, just buy the things you really need. And this kind of like a pen, you have to have a separate one, because the same thing you use to fry onions and garlic, you shouldn't be using to make your custards or your lemon curds. I can tell you for the I'm talking about the UK and also Germany. For the other utensils like a palette knife and Marie's, I bought my ones at TK Maxx. You have a good quality stuff and is also not expensive. Or IKEA, you have lots of shops where you can buy very good products and you don't have to spend lots of money with that. But it's important to separate, because you don't want your sweets to smell like onions, and you don't want your free from products to be cross-contaminated with the other things in your kitchen. It's much more work to work with this kind of products, but it's your differential, is your unique selling point, is what you have, is the special thing you have to offer. And believe me, it seems very difficult, but once you start, this becomes a routine and is going to be much easier. You then, at some point, you don't think about it anymore. Well, and then I decided to start from my kitchen. What should we sell? Actually, we tend to sell what is everybody's buying. Like what is easy to sell is brownies. Then I'm going to sell brownies. But I would say start with one product in two different flavors, always two different products, not very expensive, and one product that's in terms of money is a little bit more expensive, like a tart or a cake or a celebration cake. So you have an option to increase your revenue, because this is also part of your plan to grow. Of course, you can make a business only with cupcakes, only with brownies, only with donuts, only with I don't know, flapjacks or whatever. But in the beginning, you have to try with different ones, and doesn't matter what it is. The most important thing is that the kind of customers that buy your products are in the same line of your positioning, which means if you are selling to your friends, to your colleagues at work, or to your neighborhood, or in markets, they have to be a combination in terms of, not in terms of flavor, but the same public should be able to buy your products. I wouldn't start with many different. When I opened the business officially, from home I was baking bread and tarts and cakes. So I love to bake tarts because they are very versatile. You can do different fillings. But I was also baking bread, because bread, I understood bread is something that people eat every day. And this, I really liked the outcome from my gluten-free breads, and that's how I started. But I had a huge menu when I started to sell to other customers, when I wasn't selling from home anymore. But even being my experience, was successful, I wouldn't suggest for you to start with many different products, because you need to storage all the ingredients, and you need to, it's much more complicated for your line of production and everything. As less products you have, better. And then what else you have to think? Make your research, see your competitors. Do you have other people baking from home, gluten dairy-free goods in your neighborhood? Where people go when they need a cake like that? Which are the coffee shops you have in your neighborhood that take orders from gluten-free cakes? Because this could be an opportunity for you. If you see that they are already doing, don't be afraid to do it. If they are not doing, you could be the supplier, even if a bakery sell many different items but don't sell the gluten and dairy free ones, you could just do that. So you could be the one that produce the things the orders they take. This could work as well. We do it here, by the way. And then you have to register your business. Here in the UK, I don't know about the USA, but here in the UK, even if you work from home, you have to register your food business with the council. And you have to you have to have a minimal standard to be a home baker as well. You have to think about your equipment, which equipment you need and where you're going to store your equipment. Do you really need this equipment? Because you have things that do many different functions. Like you don't need to start invest in a Thermomix, because you can cook your custards by hand. You can do your bread in the stand mixer. Normally in a stand mixer you always need, because the one you have to hold most of the I don't know exactly what to do to make brownies. This could be okay, but to really make a meringue and all the stuff would be very, if you are going to invest in something, if you have something, just use what you have. But if you are investing buying a hand mixer, I would suggest to buy one like a stand mixer one.